trying to win versus anybody I play. I don't really dwell on one player or, it's just this guy I want to beat. Like I said before, that's still the GOAT. No, nothing changed that. I'm happy to get the win, of course, especially at M&T Bank Stadium. So it's pretty cool, but I don't really care because it's to get Tom Brady. I just want to win.
Is there something specific that you felt you didn't have the team prepared for?
What's obvious? And did you see a game tonight?
Oh, he's always chatty and personable and win or lose. Somebody said yesterday, hey, Bill, smile. He is. Yeah. It's just Bill Belichick and the Patriots. And you know what? This is a good day for the National Football League because, look, I appreciate greatness.
Yeah.
And I recognize that the Patriots have embarked and continue the best run that the sport has ever seen. But it is kind of nice when you feel like the door's open for other teams.
Sure.
Because it felt like it was going to be Patriots plus whoever emerges from the scrum in the NFC. Now, maybe there's a scrum in the AFC too.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It brings everything, or at least brings the Patriots back to reality. I think that's the big thing there. And it's going to give teams a little more confidence who have to face the Patriots here in the next few weeks to go, oh, wait, okay, here's a formula that won this game. They're not invincible. I mean, the Patriots do have that type of aura. I mean, even last night with a 17-0 lead and Cyrus Jones fumbling the ball, we all go, oh, here we go.
Here it comes.
Oh, here it comes. Like, they had a chance to kind of put the nail in the coffin, and then it's, oh, my gosh, it's 17-10, and here we go again. So it will give teams in the NFL confidence who face them, and you're right. It's just going to make the AFC a little bit more closer, a little bit more of a fight. In general.
The put-away came when the Ravens were up 24-20. They got the ball with 7:57 left in the third quarter. They went on a 14-play, 81-yard drive that chewed up more than 8 minutes of clock. And that was the moment where, okay, that's it. They've just overpowered the Patriots.
You don't see that very often. I mean, you don't see anything that happened last night to the Patriots very often. The way the game started, just being really overwhelmed on both sides of the football, getting in no rhythm. And then, of course, the turnover and then the hurry-up offense kind of got the momentum back on their side to a degree. But, you thought, oh, okay, the Patriots getting the ball in the second half, and here they were. They're driving down. The big fumble return, Marlon Humphrey picks that up, runs for a touchdown. You go, oh, okay, some breathing room for the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, this was a huge moment. Julian Edelman, he doesn't make mistakes like this ever, really. So that's really rare. And then, yes, you're right. To add to that, a drive where you go, man, they need a drive to help their defense out to win this game. And they just were a physical machine, just kind of pounding it down the throat of the New England Patriots.
The Patriots' 37 points allowed last night to the Ravens, Chris, were the most allowed by the Patriots in a road game since September 2014, 41-14.
Wow.
The on-to-Cincinnati game after losing to the Chiefs. And, in a weird sort of way, it's kind of good for the rest of us that the Patriots don't play this weekend because we've got time before we hop on the whole Patriots are done narrative. And if they were playing a tough game this weekend, if they had to go to Philadelphia this weekend, maybe that would be a focal point. But, because you know what happens? It's once a year this idea catches fire that the Patriots are done.
Right.
And they thrive on that.
Right.
And I think it actually hurts the Patriots that they don't get a chance to truly thrive on all of the things that we're going to be saying today about how it went poorly for the Patriots. They got to wait 13 days until they play again.
Yeah, that's never good. And then, sometimes with bye weeks too, I'm not always in favor of them because guys can get out of the routine a little bit. You just kind of get out of full-fledged battle mode and you take a vacation or, not a vacation, but you just get off some of your details. Go ahead.
But this helps.
Does
I think this gives Bill Belichick the ammunition to keep his guys focused because they got a horrible taste in their mouths as they start their bye week.
I agree with that. And I think this is the other thing too. That's just a little different about the Patriots teams maybe than we've seen in years before. And, hey, we needed to see a team beat them before we really could say, ooh, this is an issue with the team. We knew the O-line had some issues, right? Well, we saw the Baltimore defense really overwhelm them, especially the start of the game. Until the hurry-up offense started, they were truly dominating. Well, you got two defenses after the bye, and the Eagles and the Cowboys, who can kind of do similar things. Really, I would say have more athletic defensive line. Other thing is the other side of the ball, Mike. I just find this interesting. The Patriots, last night was the first night they were forced to be big, right? Forced to be like, oh, wow, it's 3 tight ends, or, oh, it's 2 tight ends and a running back and a fullback. Like, they want to have their DBs on the field. They want to move people around. Linebackers, we're confusing you. And they lost that advantage. And they're a team that is usually built on size, but defense this year, they have a little bit of a lack of real big people like that. And again, the Eagles and Cowboys are big on the offensive line. So this is just a little bit of a, again, a little crack in the armor or whatever it may be, but it's going to give teams that play them a little bit of a, hey, they're the Patriots and they're good, but if we take the fight to them, especially up front, we should win that. We are the more talented team, at least these upper echelons teams there, and it'd just be interesting to see as we go forward.
After the game, defensive back Devin McCourty, the Patriots, explained that the Baltimore Ravens controlled everything on the night. Here's McCourty.
Because we struggled stopping the run, it pretty much gave them control of the game. Possession, down and distance, I think they got to be comfortable all game. We got them in a couple 3rd and longs. We were able to get off the field, but for the majority of the game, I think they were able to play it on their terms, and, I think that's what probably hurt us the most.
37 minutes time of possession for the Ravens, 210 rushing yards on 41 attempts. When you look at Lamar Jackson's stat line, it does not scream out MVP.
Right.
17 to 23, 163 yards, a touchdown pass, 16 rushing attempts for 61 yards and 2 touchdowns. But to do it against the Patriots, the team that has mastered the first and second year quarterback, the team that always bedevils anyone and everyone that they face, to have Lamar Jackson and that Ravens offense do what they did to the Patriots defense in a year when we were saying, oh, this Patriots defense, that's going to be like the 85 Bears, better than the 85 Bears, not last night. And it really does give the NFL a different vibe heading in to the month of November.
No, it does. I mean, what we know now that, hey, Baltimore's for real. I mean, that's the first thing we can say. Whether they lose another game, of course they probably will. It doesn't really matter. But it showed that, they can beat anybody on a given day, and then it does show that the Patriots are beatable. And to your point with Lamar Jackson, I think you're spot on. Like, the stats aren't going to scream like, oh, wow, sexy MVP. It was the timing of some of the plays he made through the game. Whether it was the first 3rd down of the game and he's about to get sacked and he throws a ball to Marquise Hollywood Brown as he's falling down and Hollywood Brown dives and makes the play. It's other plays where you go, oh, the Patriots got him, right? And then he runs to the left and just darts through a hole, and Kyle Van Noy breaks his ankles, where you don't see that happen very often. He gets down to the 1-yard line. Or, it's just a number, or the other play that got him down to the 1-yard line where he has the cutback. It was just the magnitude of the plays where drives usually stall out when you play the Patriots, but yet he was physically gifted enough at times to overcome their scheme. It's like we talk about with really good players. And, I witnessed this a little with Michael Vick. The Bucs, you could talk about preparing for Michael Vick all you want until you got in the field and saw him whoa, this guy's faster than the guy we had in scout team all week. It can change your approach, and of course it's a game changer in general.
Yeah, and Jackson also, this comes from NFL Research, first player with a passing touchdown and multiple rushing touchdowns against the Patriots since Ronnie Brown in the Wildcat game of 2008. And, we've seen this time and again how mobile quarterbacks bedevil the Patriots. And no matter what Bill Belichick does to prepare his team, and I don't know why this happens. Why do you think it happens that mobile quarterbacks have that kind of success against Belichick defense?
Well, I think maybe the number one thing I would say more than anything is, Bill tries to, stop everything, stop your bread and butter. But I would more than anything just look at their edge guys historically have not been the most athletic, game-changing type guys. They've never had those edge pass rushers where we just go, oh, man, if you don't block that guy or double team him, you're screwed as an offense. So they don't necessarily always have those athletes to corral those type of guys. They do it more with, oh, we're going to confuse them, with our coverage in the back end and try to, keep them in the pocket and all those things. And that's great. But like we said, it's just a little harder said than done, or done than said, I should say, when it comes to guys like Lamar Jackson.
And the Patriots' schedule was a lot easier than hard early in the year. We saw them run roughshod over the competition through the first 8 weeks. Now after the bye, Chris, it's at Philadelphia, then the home game against the Cowboys, then a trip to Houston to take on Deshaun Watson and the Texans. Then a visit from the Chiefs Week 14. We will learn a lot about the Patriots in the next 4 games.
We will. I mean, it's definitely a step up in competition. And the other thing, too, just wanted the scrambling quarterback thing. This kind of came to my mind. I should have clarified this even a little more. That's the great advantage these scrambling quarterbacks have on New England is this. It takes away one of New England's greatest advantages, which is their schematical creativity in it. Because creativity on a week-to-week basis. When you play guys like Lamar Jackson and Cam Newton, you have to worry about all the different runs and different things. So therefore, Bill might not be able to be as creative with blitzes or stunts up front or doubling some guy and doing some crazy zone over here to stop a passing game. He's got to worry about, okay, yeah, that's great. I'd like to stop that in the passing game, but then I'm a gap short maybe in the run game with this. So then, there goes that creative coverage you see behind it. And those are the little things that the scrambling quarterbacks do to them.
If I understand what you're saying, you can't plan for every contingency with a guy who thrives on chaos.
No doubt.
Right?
No doubt.
When it becomes backyard football, it's just, am I faster than
right.
you? Am I faster than anyone you can chase me with?
Exactly. That and also to the degree of like, he wants to take away Hollywood Brown on a 3rd and 7. Okay, great. But now that's one less set of eyes on, Lamar Jackson as he's scrambling on 3rd and 6 or 7. It's just those little issues where, hey, the Patriots, we know they got some good players and Brady is the legend and all of those things, whatever. But the greatness of the Patriots usually is their schematical curveballs they can throw at a team on a weekly basis. And with these type of quarterbacks, it almost simplifies them, for lack of a better phrase.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.